Alright, guys, what's going on? Elias Thompson here, Pure Athlete System. Well, I guess pretty much just Elias Thompson here on YouTube, but that's my thing, Pure Athlete System. If you haven't already, go click the link down below. Go check out the website. Maybe you can hop on a program there. Both my programs work. There's a reason I don't have an intermediate program and an advanced lifter program out yet because, guys, I'm still working on it myself. Some parts of it. But anyways, the one is for novice beginner lifters. Works very well. The other one's a shred program. It will keep you lean as possible for a natural. The easiest way. You don't have to give up foods or anything like that. You don't have to give up like drinking if you like that. It works. So anyways, today's video is discussing how natural lifters actually grow, how you actually get big. The problem with the fitness industry and a lot of people out there promoting garbage techniques, just absolute garbage. Now, my personal story is, there's Buddy back there. What's up, bro? Hearing this again. But anyways, my personal story with lifting is I've been training for about 6 years for sure, 7, we'll just say 6 or 7 years. It wasn't until this past year and a half to 2 years that I actually started seeing the results I wanted to see. I started putting on muscle mass, I started getting bigger and stronger. And the thing that changed was I started lifting heavy. I started focusing on strength. I started trying to get my bench up, bench has been a struggle, but my squat and deadlift, all those lifts, overhead press, I started working on the things that mattered. Rows, pull-ups. And the thing that really pissed me off the other day is I seen a video by Greg Doucette. Now this guy is smart, I listened to him in some aspects, but what he said was just absolute nonsense. What he said, if you're on drugs and steroids, yeah, it will work. And the thing is about that guy, he's on a ton of gear. He tries giving out this advice to natural lifters. And what he said was powerlifting. The video was like powerlifting is harder or is way easier than bodybuilding. And that you cannot get big as a powerlifter. When you train for strength, it's way easier and you don't get big from it. The only way to get big and grow muscle is to do 10 plus, 15 plus rep range. So 4 sets of 15, 4 sets of 20 drop sets with time under tension. That's another myth. That's like a whole video in itself that I could discuss. And the reason is a lot of people who are naturals and they're big as naturals might argue that time under tension works. But my argument for it is a lot of people, it's a misconception. They confuse it because they're actually doing time under tension reps. We'll say, holding the contraction, the squeeze with sufficient volume. So they're doing it with, like, let's say they're doing incline curls or rope curls, we'll say, with like 3 sets of 12, but they're squeezing at the top, they're going slow on the way down. But what they're actually doing is sufficient volume. They're doing 24 total reps of that. And if they're adding, say they're doing on the stack, they're adding a stack, 10 pounds every single workout, yeah, you're going to grow from that. But it's not technically from the time under tension. It's from time under tension. All it does is promote blood flow to the muscle. Now, what this means is your muscles get a lot of blood flow when it runs out of nutrients, when it gets depleted, so the blood has to flow to it to restore it. That's what happens when you get a pump. Your blood is pumping nutrients to the muscle to restore it. That's what's happening. I mean, time under tension is a myth, in my opinion. A lot of people, whatever, besides the point, but that's my opinion. A lot of people might argue it, whatever, do it, but it's not the main leader of gains at all. Now, back to the point. Greg said you cannot grow, you cannot get big by doing sets under 6. So if you're doing 5 sets of 5, you won't grow. You'll only get stronger. If you're doing 8 sets of 3, you won't grow because it's too heavy and you're just getting stronger. But the thing is, muscle, for the natural lifter, you cannot be big without being brutally strong because muscle is a direct byproduct of strength. And when you focus on building strength, your muscle is going to grow because as a natural, the bigger guy is the stronger guy. It's just the way it goes. Now, personally, my story, back to that, for the first 4 years of training, first 4 or 5 years of training, I used to do exactly what guys like Greg would say. I'd fuck around in the gym, I'd do shit like that. And the thing is, I never really got the results I wanted. It took me my squat increased from 200 to 300 for a 1 rep max in 4 years. Anybody who knows how to train a natural lifter knows that you can get to 300 pounds on a squat with guys with good genetics in 6 months with proper training. 6 months, not 3 years, 4 or 5 years. Now, it wasn't until a year and a half ago I finally was sick of not making any progress and started listening to guys that knew what they're talking about. Eric Buganon, Hagen, Jason Blah, those guys like that. No, I'm not no expert or anything. I'm just a guy who likes to work out. I like recording my workout videos. I got some goals. I'm going to get strong as possible, super strong. I'm an athlete. I do a lot of sport-specific training, things like that, try to be fast. But what I found out was once I started focusing on strength, I did not only grow and start looking better, I performed better. I got faster. Because when you hit a certain threshold, when it comes to speed, it's very genetic-based. And before puberty, a lot of your speed, a lot of your motor patterns are developed. And after that, it's hard to improve how fast you can move. So the best way to do it is to keep your power and speed at a peak level and improve strength, because force times speed, or force on power, or force, however fast you can exert. I'm terrible at talking. I'm no guy to give a speech on this, but however fast you can exert your force into the ground is, it's going to carry over the field. The faster you can do it, say there's a guy same size as me. One guy can squat 400, the other guy can squat 400. The guy who can squat it faster, though, is going to be faster. That's just how it goes. Anyways, that explains my underlying point. So, what I'm saying is, once I started training correctly, everything took off. And all I did was focus on strength. This past 13 months, see, I said it took me 4 or 5 years to go from 200 to 300 on a squat. This past 13 months, I went from 300 on a max back squat to 500. Now, those are some pretty high numbers. 500-pound squat. Not a lot of people get there. I'm pretty dedicated to it. But guess what I did to get there? All heavy squats. Very rarely would I exceed 8 reps on a squat. Most of it, my bread and butter, 300 to 400, all done in the 5 rep range. After that, 400 to 455 or so, that was all done with a 3 rep range and some 5s in between there. After that, 3 sets of 8 and a 3. I did a 10 by 3, a 3 set of 8, and 3 sets of 5, and that got me from 450 to 500. So I squatted heavy, I lifted heavy, started benching. My bench has always been horrible. Still is not where I want it to be, but I added 100 pounds to it. Chest is a lot bigger. Go look at my pictures on Instagram, Pure Athlete System. You can see it. And once I started focusing on building strength, my deadlift and things like that, everything started growing. Didn't focus on time under tension hypertrophy. I focus on adding weight to the bar or adding reps with sufficient volume. Consistency throughout the week. So training a muscle group 3 times a week, 2 times minimum. That's going to lead to more gains. It's going to lead to gains as a natural lifter. And focusing on strength. Measuring your main lifts. Keep track of your main lifts. Because you add 200 pounds to your bench press, you go from 135 to 315, or 135 to 335, you better believe your chest is going to grow. And yes, it's genetically based. Some guys are going to grow a lot more than others. Some guys ain't going to grow as much because they're just really gifted in strength. Other guys need to grow a lot to get to that level of strength. But overall, you're going to grow. You're going to grow. The guys that are really gifted for strength, 135 to 400 on their bench press. You're going to look like a different person. Go look at the pictures of me. Go look at the pictures of any natural who lifts heavy from when they started to now. Now, powerlifting, you can get big as a powerlifter. Focus on strength. Throw in sufficient volume. But make sure the bench, squat, deadlift, and I like to even say overhead press and weighted pull-up are the keys to your workout. Those are your main focuses. Those are the ones you want to improve. So, guys, if you like this video, like it. If you want to see me work out, subscribe. I'm looking to hit a 650 deadlift here soon, 550 squat, and eventually a 300 bench, whenever that comes around. But if you want to see me do that and work out, hit the subscribe button. I do a lot of vlogs and things like that. We got Buddy here. Me and Buddy will be going to the gym tomorrow. We might vlog it. But anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.